Oh, all right. We were supposed to have had this stream earlier. I was asleep. Uh, we usually do these at 6, but I couldn't do it because I was knocked out. So one of the things that people like to do is whenever someone doesn't get what they want or say falls short of a expected result or something that they're striving for, they try to make them adhere to this sense of grace or like try to get them to sort of act one way. Let's see. Came running when I saw the title. Yeah, but like it's a common thing where basically if you have something happen that you don't want, instead of cursing about it, saying that it's stupid, or like verbally lashing out or whatever, they try to get you to go, "Oh well, I am disappointed, but I respect the results, and I understand all the people's decisions, and all that nice stuff, right?" And I said to this one person because they were kind of like, because I said before that I think anytime a person, whether they're male or female, is hurt, and whether that's emotionally or physically by something by another person, they should be able to say whatever they want about that person, especially if they're not leaking any personal information about them or making it to where other people can find out stuff about who they're talking about. Okay, Mr. Underworld said, "I honestly do not care if here as long as I try my best, analyze, improve." Man, I'm trying to give my opening statement, my monologue. You're over here typing all these thoughtful responses. Cut that out. Save that for English class. So, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, just so we can get into this without getting so confused. Um, I had a best friend from the time I was in first grade to ninth grade. And I cut it off. I stopped speaking to him because I got so sick of the fact that every time I would call him, it seemed that was only when he would decide to actually want to be friends. And in the sense that I got tired of being the only person who reached out. And you might say to yourself, well, at least the person's receptive. I'm like, yeah, but I like no matter because I try to put myself in someone's shoes a lot of times, and I just couldn't believe that it was so difficult and it was like so above his powers to contact me like at least once every couple of weeks or something. I just didn't believe the person who uh at most went to school for a couple of hours a day had like such a difficult time trying to call a phone number of a person that they claim was their best friend. It didn't make sense to me, just with all the different responsibilities I've adopted since that incident, what, 6, 7 years ago. I've always been able to, at the very least, call people that I claim to care about at least once a week. And look, no one is. I'm not ridiculous because you do have people like, I want to speak to you every day. Like, no, I just thought that was a simple thing of why can't this person ever contact me? If I had to like go in my memory banks to figure out the last time they tried to speak to me, man, I would we'd be here all day. I'd be stumped because it just was so one sided. Um, but look, so when I speak about him, in the past tense because we don't interact anymore, I would say he was very nice to speak to. If he wanted to do something, was serious about doing it, wasn't one of those things. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll go, whatever. It was not. I guess what I'm saying here is you can, even in being disappointed with how that turned out, I can still speak in a somewhat nice manner because I don't have to make it up. I don't have to pretend like he didn't have any good traits, as far as just being someone that was interesting to interact with. Um, when you look at the chick thing, right? And then that's what people love coming over here for. You literally have a group of people who will piss you off in every potential way, like whether that's divesting money from you or I call it red herring. And you might be aware of this literary device, Mr. Underworld, where you talk to some woman for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and she's laughing at everything you say and giving you all these compliments and just kind of like seeming really receptive to pretty much all of your rhetoric, and then you state you're interested, and then she does a 360 and is like, well, I just want to be friends, I have no interest, blah 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 blah. Stuff like that. I can't walk away from speaking to someone for a prolonged amount of time and not be pissed off by that, or be like upset to where I think they're stupid. And look, um there are those who will claim that that's because of an entitlement, which is dumb, because you're not going to try to appeal to someone for any, whether it's weeks or months, and think that you're owed them, because no one who believes that they're entitled to something is going to work for it. That's just how it is. um so when it happens over and over again, you kind of get this thing in your head of, maybe this is just a group of dumb people. Maybe it's time for me to stop blaming myself. And I said before that a lot of the negative reception to my critiques of these chicks is because people want to control the narrative. They want you to bow down and accept the fate that these chicks have given you, which is someone that will not be dated, is considered not good enough to ever interact with any of them, and to not be pissed off by that. I said, look, I fully understand these people can say no. They can choose to not interact with me, but they can't control how I feel about it. So if I want to call them stupid or say that what they did was dumb, and provide examples of other dumb things they do in conjunction with my position to reinforce it, I should be able to. And I shouldn't have someone trying to act like this is such a benign request or whatever, because I guarantee you, whatever they're saying, to themselves about any of the males they've spoken to is just as bad, if not worse. Um, and a lot of times, and that's also something else I've tried to say, which is that people, when they go online, they always try to put on these masks. They try to act like, that guy that's doing that video, he was talking about this woman in such a horrible way. And I always say, like, you really want me to believe that when you are in the comfort of your friends or other colleagues, you guys don't ever sit back and just speak negatively about some woman that it didn't go the way you wanted or whatever. Like, this is something, this thing of critiquing members of the opposite sex. People do this in real life all the time, except the difference between me and them is they'll actually say their, like, between what I do here and what they do in real life, they'll actually say their name and show pictures and like mock how they look and talk about, like, how ridiculous they are. Like, just it's a lot more personalized and really less protective than what I do here, which is to kind of like give an example as part of some grander narrative. So it's basically the same thing. um but again, since I'm not trying to like pretend to be some nice person, I don't hide the fact that that's what's being done here, where you're speaking disparagingly about certain members of a group. And their defenders come up and they try to say they're not all the same, and it's like, well, yeah, we can acknowledge that, but it's not going to change the fact that there are ones who do this over and over again, to where whenever you speak about this stuff, it seems like the overwhelming majority of men know that's the case, because so many of them do the exact same thing. And I said a lot of people are tired of getting uh, what I call scammed, because whenever you try to pretend like you're interested in someone, and then you know show your true colors after a certain period of time, that's a scam. You know, you've been defrauded of attention. You've had someone pretend that they were interested, and then it goes one way, and they act like you're some kind of great, villain for not appreciating that. So look, I appreciate my own time. I believe life is short, and it shouldn't be spent talking to people who aren't serious about whatever the hell. Like, if I'm someone who is, let's say, a director, and I'm trying to make a movie, and I have chicks or guys or whatever that come on the set, and they're talking about when I audition. Then they do their audition. You say, hey, I really like this. Can you sign up for it? And they say no. It's like, well, then what the hell did you audition for? Let's see. And I guess maybe that's not the best example, because I always, when I think of lazy flakiness, I think of the voice actor thing. But that's specifically because I've had so many people, overwhelmingly chicks again, it's just, that's like a recurring thing with them, try to sell me this, like, I call it a bag of tricks, because like, all you do is read a piece of paper and speak over it. You don't fly somewhere, you don't travel overseas. You just go into whatever you consider to be your recording studio, and you read something. That's it. You don't like it. There's not much involved. So when I have people who tell me, regardless if I give them 2 weeks to do something a month, that they're so busy or they're not interested, I just assume that it's because they have a large ego, and they think that my stuff isn't good enough for them, and that's all good because whatever they're doing is usually only good because of someone else writing it, or because they're just lazy. Case in point, I know I approached a voice actor for this project back in I think March, April, earlier this year, and when they said no while concurrent with their activities being very very visible, and they were just sitting here messing with this guy's page on YouTube every single day, and I was like, I don't believe that they couldn't do this if they didn't want if they wanted to, like there's because they admitted to not being employed, they admitted to um like supposedly wanting to reach out, and I was like, well, how the hell do you have that factor and then you don't want to do this, or you claim like this is not like that's what I was saying, that it's people's egos, because no one's going to convince me that someone who doesn't work, who you literally see spend hours every day screwing with someone online, can't record something like that. Like it just I didn't buy it. Let me see. Non Mirage says tricks are for kids. Yeah, we need to. Every time we do a video on the chick, we should have like a cereal box of that on the in the backside, because there's a lot of tricks with involved with them. So I agree. Let's see. Mark said you should expose these picture that are attractive, but will have, let's see, but still have the nerve to lead you on. Oh yeah, guys, there are so many broads that I spoke to that like aren't even. I mean, there was this one with this big nose that sat around in my inbox talking about all the nasty stuff she want to do to me, and then all of a sudden she stops and like, well, what the hell? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I met this guy in real life. I was like, so, I was literally just a little project of yours that once something grander came along, you pumped and dumped, you threw in the trash like an empty potato chip bag, and they'll get upset when you frame it that way. But what else can I describe it as when that's literally the only reason you stop speaking like you know a very perverted person in my inbox? Seriously, what other narrative could I come to besides you used me for your own little like gratification you got off of writing that stuff to someone? Namaraj says no one can be content anymore, always wanting something they can't have. The media is partially to blame for our social hangups. Well, listen, I'm sorry, but the media and society and all this stuff, it can only influence me so much. I've had a lot of its members that I've spoken to. If you remember, not you, Namaraj, because you probably weren't here for that. Um, Man, Ruben, let me finish my thing before you ask all these inquiries. Um, when we had the stream that was about I just lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot, Ruben. I'm gonna do a video on you. We're gonna talk about how you destroyed my speech bubble. I was sitting there with my little invisible teleprompter. Did you watch the Gravel video I sent you? I thought it was very insightful. Where'd you send it? Because I haven't seen it. So you'll have to explain to me where it was sent. If you tell me where it is, I'll see it or I'll watch it. But getting back to what I was saying, so people like actually get pissed off. Oh, that's why I haven't even, dude. Like I said, I'm planning on deleting that because we only got like 5 people to join that thing, and everybody else is like all the other people in there are barely active. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I'll go look for it in there. Um, there's like a big thing with trying to, and that's why I said that I've kind of started to reject a lot of the mask that we're told to put on, because like I guess with me, right, the reason people pretend to be things when they're out in public and when they speak to certain people is because they think they can get something out of it. You have that one relative that you hate, and they come over your house and you smile up in their face because you think that if you do that, it's going to cause tension to not exist, or ease relations or whatever. And I said, because I'd mentioned that I had someone come over here, pick up a box from somebody else that they left here. And this person literally 3 months after my birthday has taken place, so wants to now ask me, now that we're in person, we're in front of each other. And it pissed me off because it's like, you have a phone, you have my phone number, you have my social media contacts. And the only time you bother to ask really a basic question like that is when I'm directly in front of you. And it just drove me crazy because I was like, how the hell do you like how does no one see a problem with that besides me? How does no one configure that maybe if someone wants you to believe that you think they're a human being, you actually try to speak to them like you would someone you care about. If I was this person's mother, for example, and it was my birthday, you think they would sit there and wait 3 months to say something? Or let's say I was their significant other. You think they would wait 3 months to ask me, how did it go? How was it? And look, I can attest to the position that, oh, I'm not as significant as these people. Like I agree, but don't try to pretend like I'm significant at all when something as basic as that eludes your thought bubble for 90 days, if not more. Let's see. Mark says beggars can't be choosers according to the leftists. All right, well, I don't know what that's from. Um, so I'll just do this and continue to read other stuff in the chat more. But you get my point that this person literally wants me to believe that they're so concerned and caring when their own actions, like, they prove them not to be the case. And sure enough, the last time I spoke to them, they had said they would invite me to their stuff or whatever, and I said that wouldn't be the case to their face. And they said that we would find out. And like in my head, I'm just thinking, no, we already know because of the fact that you never contact me that you're going to do the exact thing you do every year, where I see you, you know, this many days a year, and then you try to act like we're buddy buddy or we're so close or friendly, and then ignore me for the remainder of the time. And it's like, what else? What am I supposed to think of that person other than they're a liar when they say they are very concerned about your well-being? Remember, you don't have to see someone every day or every week or every month to express concern for how they're doing. You can call them, you can email them, you can write them a letter if you want to get classic. So when those little small gestures, right? Because these don't have to be long messages. You can just say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a week. Are you all right?" It's not difficult at all. I've done it with plenty of people. So if I can do that at whatever age these people want to say is like the minimum for intelligence, why the hell can some almost 30-year-old woman do the exact same thing, or 25 or whatever? What like why is that such a difficult thing for them to also pull off? Is it because I'm so much smarter than them? It shouldn't be. That's a serious inquiry. Why is that so hard for someone else to do? Especially someone else who's trying to see. Again, I don't try to pretend like people who don't contact me at all care about me. Um, so when you're trying to market yourself as being this very concerned person about your well-being, and you can't even send someone a message a month, once a month, once every couple of weeks, get the hell out of here. I mean, like that's not a difficult thing to get at all. And like it does piss me off because see, again, a lot of these people don't have any personalities I really care for that much. So when they don't contact me, it's whatever. I'm more pissed off by the fact that they lie about being concerned than the fact that they don't contact me. Because again, these a lot of these people, especially a lot of these chicks, are a dime a dozen. So when you get one that like is not receptive to wanting to speak, you don't really care that much because she's literally the exact same as the other 500 down the street. uh, Mark says, "General don't care about our feelings." Yeah, but this isn't like some romantic thing. This was a person who claims to be concerned because I am related to one of their friends. So how do you like so badly screw up? Like we expect them to screw up with these romances, but you literally are lying about a platonic interaction. Let's see. Now Mirage wants to join in. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Go back on here and look for it. But yeah, usually when a lot of these people cut stuff off with me, like between these chicks, these voice actors, I typically don't say anything. Like they'll just send me some message where they're like, "I am finished with your project. I am finished speaking to you," or "I have chosen to end our discussion," or whatever the hell. And I don't say anything not because I bow out gracefully, but because I genuinely think it's a waste of my breath to talk to people like that on like any kind of serious level of just wanting to speak to each other. Or like how do I put this? I guess the way I look at it is this: if they're so crappy that they can't, just like put up with whatever thing you have. Let me see. Get this damn link. We got 9 people here. I'm so impressed. That's the thing about subs. Like all these people press this button and they disappear when you upload stuff. Ah. All right, there you go, Raj. Now you can get involved and sign up and smile and read one person writing something every like 20 days or whatever. Um, but yeah, go back to the fact that we have like an entire group of people who don't want to interact, and then you get mad at me for simply saying I think they're stupid. But you don't get mad at me for saying that because you think that it's true that like all of them are such brilliant geniuses. You get pissed because I don't go along with the narrative that it was her choice to not speak to me, and she was such a nice. Like no, she was someone who had a chance to do something that threw it away out of stupidity. Like I'm not going to try to sell myself short anymore. 'Cause see what they're really trying to do is convince you that, like the person when they say no is making no decision that will negatively impact them whatsoever. Um, if you look at a lot of the, I guess, substitute guys that these chicks are with, they're no better than you or I. They're not richer. They're not, uh, like I've actually shown some of their stuff to chicks that I know they don't think they're any more attractive. So it's literally, you being like sold this narrative that like you were this inferior product and they've gotten some kind of like upgrade when the upgrade is literally just as crappy, if not worse. But they'll keep selling you that story. They'll keep telling you, "Oh, well, she's moved on, and just wish her the best." I still have a chick who sent me a message last year, abruptly ending our dialogue after pissing me off, and I didn't say this to her because she had kept saying she was interested and wanted to speak. Um, and like the last message she sent to me again after just out of nowhere determining I'm no longer worth being spoken to is something to the extent of I don't want a romance or was it a relationship or a pre-relationship with you. I wish you nothing but the best. And I was pissed off, so I said I wish you nothing but the worst. And I didn't think anything bad about saying it. I didn't nothing because you know what I say does not affect what they do. Remember, you go out, you talk to these people that you tell them, "Oh, I'm so interested," and you're so not. None of that has any influence on them retaining you as someone they want to speak with, right? So your rhetoric is proven just by that to not matter. So if that's the case, me saying nasty stuff about them should also, not matter. Again, if we're going by that logic, I mean, you should have seen the asinine translation from this person saying, "I want to speak to you. I'm so interested," to, "Oh, I'm good. No, thank you. I'm not interested. I don't want to do this anymore. Have a good life." I'm like, yeah, screw you. Have a bad life. I mean, Kevin, if you actually don't believe me, you can go watch the "Proof Romance is a Scam" video. I have that message in there. She says, "I wish you nothing but the best." I said, "I wish you nothing but the worst." That was my last message to her. That was the last message between our last exchange. And I don't have any regret or disconnect. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. No, because again, if I had said, "Oh, I hope you have a good life," what the hell would that have done to retain her as someone I spoke to? Nothing, because she had already predetermined I'm not going to talk to this person anymore. So if that's the case, which she showed it to be by, cutting me off without me saying anything nasty to her. It didn't matter if I was nice or if I was nasty, I would get the same result. But again, if you come on here and say that you said that, you let people go, well, that was a mean thing you said. It's like, yeah, I'm not trying to pretend it wasn't. The thing is, I'm not gonna feel bad over saying it though. That's the point. That we're past the stage of trying to be friendly and act nice and whatnot. No, Raj, I don't have a show. I just have a chair and a camera. That's it. That's that. Um, no, they'll go on in all these different places and they'll look at what some man has to say about a woman and be like, he's so toxic and look at the things he's stating about her. Does he think this will help him? I'm like, guys, like you don't get they created the monster. Like I only start speaking about chicks after they piss me off over and over. Because I've seen people try to say this will have some adverse effect on your chances. I'm like, guys, anytime some broad is horny enough to want to speak to you, they will look past whatever it is you do. That's why serial killers have had people write them romance letters. That dude that shot up that school last year in Parkland had some broad trying to get at him while he was in jail. I mean, like you can go down the list. People who do what's supposedly horrible, bad things always get some broad who wants to go along with it. And that should tell you there's not like, I'm again, they keep trying to pretend as if there's some correlation between uh approving response of females and being some great uh nice eloquent individual who only speaks positively about those that wrong them. Like there's not. But again, it's that same window dressing. Oh, if you just talk in such a nice way about all these people that have pissed you off, good things will happen to you. It's like no, you will continue to have the exact same results, except in this case, they'll try to control the narrative. Just like that person I spoke to for 11 months that told me that they believe I would prematurely end any interaction I have with some woman that reciprocates. Like that's not a smart person. Like you literally just got spoken to for almost a year, and you're gonna tell me that. Like you're not bright. Your brain doesn't work, and it's not because it's a dissenting opinion. It's because no one else has been stupid enough to get spoken to for that long ever by me, and then write something that's that dumb. That's like me and Kevin going into a burger shop, and I tell him, man, this place won't even make me a strawberry shake, and then they come out with the strawberry shake, and I'm like, they won't even make it taste good. It's like, what do you mean taste good? And I don't explain it, so it's just like this thing that makes no sense that I just stated that there's like no specific relation to what is actually real. So just like I asked her, hey, what do you mean by prematurely? You don't get a response because what is prematurely if this person has shown they're willing to talk to someone for a year. Like again, it's just more empty rhetoric that means nothing coming from a clown who is trying to shame you for the way you speak to a group of people who don't care about you. Let's see, are they ever happy? Man, I don't know these people. I like whatever. Mark says if I'd say speak to them for about a month, and if you sense they may flake, cut them off. Whatever, man. Like I said, I don't. The last one of these I spoke to and with any kind of romantic thing was October of last year, so I'm sick of them. Found out my ex has become a cam girl. Yeah, and she was so. You mean Kevin? You mean that she's moved on to such a prosperous life as a video model, and you wish her nothing but the best, and you want to hope that she does so well. Dude, there was a VA earlier this year that sent me some paragraphs, like detailed questions and whatnot about this project, and I was sitting there answering because I was so convinced they were interested. Because why else would you write that stuff? And to this day, they have not. Basically, they just stop speaking abruptly, and also have they stay on that website online active every single day auditioning for stuff. And look, I said before, it's because I'm honest. I hope that their little voice acting career crashes and burns because you're not going to sit there and get my hopes up about something that's been pissing me off for months, which is getting VAs to be on the stuff I do, and then offer yourself as some person who's so interested, have me right back to you, and then again, just like all the other red herring, disappear when you know the possibility of you doing it shows up. Mark says, "What's the difference between a cam chick and any other chick on the street?" There is none. That's my answer. Namaraj says, "Yeah, that's your problem, Kevin. Stay away from those types. Go to church this Sunday and find yourself." And Mark says, "Wrong. Church women are worse." Dude, if I wish, man, I wish I could just like do a whole video just showing all the different chicks that have posted on their page. I'm a believer of God, and they've got videos and messages of them cursing people out and talking about what they want to do to them and all this other stuff. You would be astonished at just the complete. I mean, like I said, that's why me and religion have had such a complicated relationship because a lot of the other people, see, I believe that at worst, what I do is just rhetoric. Like, okay, you said this person is stupid, but that doesn't stop them from, doing anything they want to do. So I actively try to not negatively impact the lives of those I know, which is why I get rid of people that I don't want to like speak to or think or interact with me in a positive way because I don't want to be bogged down by that. And then you have people who go around smiling in the faces of those they claim to hate, and then they'll get like lauded as these wonderful members of society who have contributed so much by being fake as hell. You have pastors, but yeah, we know that, Mark. That's why I said it's all this different societal stuff is like a big scam. Let's see here. That's they're everywhere. We got a thought infestation. Yeah, they're all over the place. They don't have any kind of limited reach because they're all most of them are believers in God. They're believers in all this other stuff. They're all saying one thing or another. But again, if someone comes on here and they say a chick is stupid or, like I hope these people don't find anyone, they'll go, "Oh, you're being mean and you're just mad you didn't find." I was like, "You're damn right." I don't try to hide it. I said, "This is my disdain is a direct result of how I've been treated." See, because what they like to do is they try to compare you to people who they claim are entitled. It's like, yeah, but you don't approach 90 chicks or 80 or whatever online in person and not get pissed when the only one who wants to actually date uh, approaches you and turns out to be one of the biggest gold diggers in U.S. history. Man, that was such a miserable period. Like, imagine every day having some uh, little I mean is in height. Bro was 5 years older than me, asking for money every single time you see them, and let that be your one experience with dating someone, and let's see how positively you think of that group. I invite all of those who believe that once you get a chick, it's gonna be like this magical, wonderful uh, closing of an era of just loneliness or whatever. I invite all of you to try that out or picture that and see how wonderful it was. Where's Ruben's comment? One of them said that Joker promotes male power fantasy. Oh, they're over there psychoanalyzing cartoons. Mark says, "I'm sort of worried on how the dating scene will look for the coming decades. It's going to be more of this, more of the me post a stupid picture of myself. Let me try to pretend like I'm, so interested in these guys I'm talking to, and then let me, go and pick one person that I actually think is worth, my attention based almost entirely on the way they look, and then, it'll go on from there." Let's see. Mark says exactly. Ruben, men are blamed for any and everything. I'm sick of the. Mark is using his swear words. We can't use those before 5 p.m. or on Saturdays. That's illegal. That's how that's supposed to go. Dude, I like that's what I was saying that people just they want to keep making you think, don't say this, don't act this way. It's going to negatively impact you. Like how? I mean, like again, the whole reason any of this shit content ever got made was because I had nothing to lose. I had already been turned down over and over. As early as 2015, when that first one came out. Like so what exactly was lost by speaking disparagingly about this group? A group of people who, by and large, ignore me, act like I don't exist, or if they do, they pretend they're interested and then do their little, 360 turn. And like, I'm not supposed to get pissed off at that or say this group is filled with a bunch of liars and scammers because karma. It's a new Joker movie with, yeah, I know what the film you're talking about. It hasn't even been released yet, and people are dying about whether the movie represent. Oh, Mark says, "How's the universe magically supposed to do that?" Kevin, he gonna pull out his wand. We need to draw Kevin as the fairly godmother or the fairy godmother or whatever. That's actually what a lot of people on here are like. They come and try to promise you a chick. I remember when I started talking to that same one that I stopped interacting with after 11 months or whatever. She did the same thing. Oh, well, if you just act this way, a woman will magically. Like, no, that's just you being stupid. They will magically show up. You'll just wake up one day and suddenly a female will contact you over the email. It's like, what the hell are you talking about, you nut? God, like, you know, what is that? Isn't that sad that people are so positive that they're willing to like argue against reality? Because I said before, I don't dismiss that people can someday encounter someone who is serious about them. The thing is, when you make someone jump through 200 hoops, so you approach, like 100 or whatever chicks, and they all say no, and that's after some prolonged period where they're acting like they're into you, and then it's the reverse. You're not going to respond that well because you've already been put through the ringer. So it's not really that difficult. People who don't get it don't want to get it. Let's put it that way. And that's kind of what's so disturbing. We get told about we need to have all these abilities to articulate our position on something, and it's like, yeah, but if I can say this until I'm blue in the face, and if someone doesn't want to understand what I'm saying, that's going to be the case. Meaning that they're not going to get it on purpose because they don't want to. What's being said here really is not that confusing. It's a person simply saying that because I have been treated, I think, wrongly by a lot of my contemporaries, whether it's for this voice actor stuff or for any romance stuff, I don't think positively of them. I think they're pieces of garbage. Almost every single chick that I've approached that said no, I have no positive opinion of, because again, what's the only time you'll ever see me admit something good about one of them is if they're like, there was this one that was an artist. She could actually draw really, really well. And I said, hey, we should speak about this, blah, 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 blah. And then, you still get the same result anyway. So, when people tell you that they're not all the same, they're all doing the same thing, even if they have different hobbies. So what's the point here? With these voice actors, I'll say, look, this person is talented, can do this voice really well, but if they don't want to do any work, I mean, it's kind of like the whole potential argument. It's like, yeah, this person loves potential, but if they don't want to do anything with it, i.e., actually get off their lazy behind and record stuff, that potential kind of doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's like if I know how to, I don't know, do open heart surgery, but I don't go to school to get the certification to perform that task on anyone. So at that point, it's like this forbidden technique that it's like a nice little tidbit of information. Oh, this person can open somebody's stuff up and you know put something else in there, but it doesn't actually affect anything. So I said all this stuff about goodwill is like I don't know what cartoon they think they're watching, but they need to change the channel because literally I'm through with it. I'm tired of trying to act nice to people that I don't like. Uh, that pretend as if they're so good or whatever, or they want you to say some nice stuff about individuals who have pissed you off repeatedly. It's like I'm not doing that. Mark says most people like the truth. They'd rather be confused with lies and fantasy. Yeah, but again, they're trying to create something that does not exist. There's not this perfect utopia where you can lead someone on for weeks or months, and then they're supposed to just be like, "Well, I hope you have such a good life without me." And no, I hope the worst thing possible can happen to you. As far as this romance stuff is concerned, at the very least, because you just wasted my time. So I have no kind of good position or feeling toward anything you might want to do. Just like all those voice actors that said they were interested in my stuff and then abruptly exited. I hope every single one of them finds nothing but a lack of success in their careers. I hope every time they audition for something, somebody else gets it. We can go down the rabbit hole. All these chicks that we're talking about. You're not good enough for me or whatever. I hope every single one of them never finds anyone. And I've actually been accused by another person who said you want everyone to be miserable. Like no, no, that's a bunch of trash. Because I had a person I speak with who I consider to be a close acquaintance who wasn't with someone for 10 years, and when I found out he was with someone, I didn't get mad or upset because I knew he had also had a pretty similar situation to myself, and I was happy that he was happy. Of course, I'm not going to wait 10 years for some broad to decide that I'm uh, actually worthy of being like that's stupid to me. That, in my opinion, he can do whatever he wants. And look, I'm not trying to cast these people as the villains because a lot of times when we say I hope this doesn't, it does or it might or whatever. But I really don't care as long as they get some kind of misery for that, you know, is in that same field or topic. I'll be completely content. I'll even smile. Actually, no, if I don't hear about them, I'll be content. If I find out that they've had some kind of problem with their career or romance with their, I'll smile because I'm a sore loser, and I have no bones about it. The best you get out of me is when they message me, I just don't say anything. That's me being as nice as I possibly can because whatever I'm thinking to myself, if I put it to typing out, it would be much worse. No, Mark, that's how I roll. No more attempts at trying to pretend like we're some kind of gracious, uh, wonderful people over here. I'm just a person who does stuff on YouTube in all kind of different capacities and outside of YouTube. That's it. And anytime I ask for anything else, it seems like you get this weird like difficulty. Oh, you want somebody to voice for your project? Uh, well, what's it about? And uh, here are another 20 questions for you to answer over the span of 5 or 6 days before I say no. Oh, you want to go on a date? Well, you have to talk to this woman for 6 weeks just for to say no, and then speak to another one for another 8 weeks just for that one to say no. And I'm tired of it. And so when I get tired of it, I say these are stupid people. These are people who are wasting my time, and they can have the worst possible fate, and I wouldn't blink. And someone said, "Oh my God, that's so mean. How could you say that?" I'm like, dude, they think it. Like for God's sake, like just drop it. You really think that when these broads get turned down for some project, they're genuinely sitting up there like, I hope this thing that wouldn't let me voice on it so I could, boost my name recognition. uh, is very successful and it's able to get more attention and blah blah blah. No, they're upset over it too. Again, they might not say or think the same kind of nasty, horrible things, but they're not too far off. But again, because people like to act like when something is said aloud, it's never thought of in private. We're going to keep having the same thing of, I can't believe you would say that. You can look at the romance stuff to it to from the time it began to the time it has to the present times, and I every single chick, including that gold digger that I had the unfortunate experience of dating for about a week. I wish them nothing but the worst. Every single one of them. And again, because I'm not obsessed with any of them, I'm not going to go and look to see if they got it because I couldn't care less. Um, but if I find out something bad happened to them, oh, this person turned me down, or this, I'm a voice actor, no one wants to do my stuff. I really couldn't care. I would smile. Actually, that would be the only thing I would care about. Well, they ask you that because they're not aware of the chick circumstance. They think it's as simple as you go outside and you say you're interested in someone, and they go on a date, and then you just magically fall in love and all this other trash. So I said, it's just you're just dealing with a bunch of scammers, and that extends beyond the chick stuff, which is why I lumped the VA stuff in here too. It's a bunch of people trying to convince you of something that never was. None of these chicks are interested in trying to date you; they just want to waste your time. And none of these VAs are interested in your projects. They just want to ask a bunch of stupid questions, and just so they can feel they can increase their ego by turning your thing down. So that's why I said I wish all the horrible things that could happen, the complete reverse of whatever positive thing they could have happen. Because we're done. We're not pretending anymore. Came very late, Megumi. You can watch this on the replay. I actually see this one guy who was like, I don't like to watch streams after they've been composed. Like, okay, well, you're stupid. Man, like that's so dumb. Whatever. People they're weird to me. We were even over this. People do all kind of things I don't understand. Like make no sense whatsoever. But yeah, in closing, anytime some person says they want to do something with you and they end up doing a 360 or abruptly not answering back, whatever, just assume they're flaky and wish them the worst and go try to find someone else. All of these, none of these people deserve any goodwill for me. Um, I've actually seen some who tried to say, you control how you're perceived or whatever. I said, look, I can relay a message a million times over, and if people want to continue to pretend like it's not the case, that's their problem. Because I've looked at some of the lives of these, people who are acting just like I was saying before, that a lot of times I cut off my circle and make it smaller and smaller because there's like no point to being friends with a lot of these people. They're just leeches. Um, and I've seen them do it in real life, and I just don't want to have the same, experience. There's no reason for someone to get treated like trash in their personal life and in their professional life by whether it's a date or trying to get someone to do a little stupid voice for a project, and for that person to look at that same group of people who are denying him something and say, "Oh, I hope something good happens to you." No, go to hell. Rot away with the rest of the those who are not very of the highest intellect. So that's that. In closing, again, no more goodwill. Throw it away. Everybody that pisses you off, wish them the worst.